Um, let's see. Our first video tonight is a video that I took a couple of months ago while I was in Florida. I met a couple at a car show, and they had a his and hers set of Corvettes. So let's meet them now and take a look.
My name's John. My wife's Ann. We have an 01 Corvette convertible, and then this is a 16 Corvette Stingray. We've done a few mods on them, mostly carbon fiber on the 16 with some artwork done by a gentleman out of St. Cloud, Florida. A few things that we've done underneath with it is the performance exhaust gives you about 5 more horsepower. Not much in the grand scheme of things, but it sure does make it sound nice.
I bet it does.
The 01 that we have actually was in the Corvette Museum in Kentucky.
Yeah.
It is one of the first vehicles that came off the line when they went from a 345 to a 350 engine. And we got invited back to do a little special occasion with them there. It was kind of cool, really neat experience. I was going to actually get rid of that, the 01, when I was looking for this one, and my wife put her foot down and said, nope, that's mine now.
Nice. You have a his and hers set.
So now we have a his and her set.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate it.
So what we're going to do with the third one, I have no idea, but it's coming.
Nice. Good deal. You can't stop it, too.
No.
Why stop now?
That's right. Once you get two, the door's wide open.
For sure. Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome. Good meeting you.
You too.
Yeah, that was really nice to meet John and Ann, and they had some really nice Corvettes. Now, this is a car show they have every other Sunday at the Promenade in Kissimmee, Florida. And if you're in the area, it's definitely a show worth checking out. I really enjoyed myself over there, and I'm sure that you will too. And also, if John and Ann are watching tonight, I give them a shout out. They were a really nice couple. I really enjoyed meeting them. And if I ever get down that way again, hopefully I'll see them at that same show. Click the link in the description for your free AMSOIL catalog. It's time for a quick shout out to some of our friends. B&B Auto Sales, your muscle car connection in Brookings, South Dakota. Above the Notch Car Club, a car club for auto enthusiasts in northern New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Muscle Car Club, the largest muscle car club in all of New England. MGM Classic Cars in Addison, Illinois. Visit mgmclassiccars.com today. Beach Hill Automotive in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, specializing in the repair, service, and towing of muscle cars and classic cars. Absolute Auto Body and Collision Repair in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. And lastly, I am your independent AMSOIL dealer. Click the link in the description for your free AMSOIL catalog. And last but not least, if you decide to advertise with the Muscle Car Podcast, this could be part of your advertising message. Well, good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. Now, I, as usual, have a robust lineup of muscle car entertainment on tap for you tonight, including a live guest. We have Steve Swanson, the National Sales Manager from Krager Wheels in the house. We also have a guest co-host in the house. So we are going to have an awful lot of fun tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Please let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, if this is your first time hanging out with us tonight, I hope you have a good time, and I hope you decide to join us here each and every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this podcast simulcasts to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time, and we'll be waiting for you with another fun-filled episode. Now, to our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you guys are the ones who make this possible, and we very much appreciate that. Let's take a few comments, now we'll bring our guests on and get the party started. Our good friend BCJ Vids is in the house, and he's saying, yay, Krager. Cool deal. Well, thank you for that. Also, another good friend, Ben Thomas, is in the house. He says, good evening, looking and sounding good in Carterville, New York, in his neighborhood. So we appreciate that feedback. Also, Kevin Culhane, another good friend, loud and clear from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. Guys, thank you so much for weighing in with some comments. Let's bring our guests on here and get this party started. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Doing great, Mike.
What
Cool
do you
deal.
mean we got a live guest? What do we normally, Mike? Are we dead during the week?
Yes, we raid cemeteries and we bring people in.
Looking forward to your show, Steve.
Thanks, Rob. I want to be in that backyard right there.
That does look comfortable, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
They've got some pizza going and possibly even some adult beverages with any luck at all. But yeah, let's get this party started. Steve, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself as far as your little bit of personally and also what you do there at Krager.
Well, Mike, thanks for the introduction. I have now been with Krager about 6 years. I'm actually the general manager of their styled wheel segment. I'm a very small portion of a very large corporation under the Carlstar banner, now owned by Titan. It's been an excellent 6 years of my time here at Krager and Carlstar. I have been in the automotive aftermarket since '71, and I have been in the custom wheel business since '79. Started my career at Keystone Wheel in Southern California. Worked through a couple of different wheel manufacturers, one accessory manufacturer by the name of Gorilla Automotive Products, and eventually moved to the Midwest. I now live in Overland Park, Kansas, and which is a suburb of the Kansas City metro area. I was an independent rep for about 7 years of my career, which included being a representative for Krager Wheel and a marketing representative for Krager Wheel. And it's been an interesting ride going from Keystone Wheel to Krager Wheel and back to Krager Carlstar now after all of these 50 years of industry experience. I did spend quite a bit of time within the SEMA Association, Specialty Equipment Market Association. I was on the board of directors. I've been a part of several different councils, and it's been an exceptionally enjoyable ride. Thank God for a lot of people that have drugged me along with them. So it's been a fun time.
Outstanding. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Now, also in the lower right, we've got our friends over at Cousins Custom Body and Paint. Bill Stull is the key man over there. He may be a new face for you on this podcast, but he's been on our Vintage Snowmobile podcast many times, once or twice a season for the last 4 or 5 years. Very big into vintage snowmobile racing. And as you can see by the cars on your screen, he also does custom builds very frequently with Krager wheels. Now, Bill, did you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and about Cousins Custom?
Sure. So back when I was 20, 21, 22 years old, 32 years ago, I started Cousins Custom Body and Paint, and October 1st coming up, I'll celebrate 33 years in business. Same location, the shop has grown, put an addition on. We're kind of landlocked because we're right in town and there's not much real estate to build on there, but we were able to put a nice size addition on. But 33 years, been building cars, doing crash work, but I love hot rod restorations, custom painting. That's
Nice. And then you've got a couple of members of your team there with you. Did you want to say a few words about them and do a quick introduction? Oh, did you just freeze up on us, Bill? I'm worried that his signal might have froze up on us. Yeah, I think they might have froze up. Well, let's continue with the podcast. We're going to get back to them in a little bit anyhow, but we're on item number 2. We're going to have Steve talk to us about the history of Krager wheels. And Steve, when you're ready, let me know and I'll pop that graphic up.
Yeah, please, anytime, Mike.
Sure.
Like many of you and like my own personal career, God didn't paint me a straight road to follow. And that's the case for Krager as well. It's been a very curvy road over the course of our almost 60 years now in the custom wheel business. Krager as a company goes back to the early 1930s, where it was created by a gentleman by the name of Crane Gartz. And Crane took the first 3 letters of his first and last name and created the company name Krager, which initially was in the business of airplane engines and Ford flathead cylinder heads. So it started out in the automotive and aeroplane business. I almost said aerospace, but we weren't there yet. And simultaneously, or actually a little before Krager started, Bill White, W-I-G-H-T White, created Bell Industries, Bell Equipment. And Bill was the founder of the Bell Star helmet and Bell Racing Equipment. And along the way, their paths merged with the joining of Roy Richter to Bill's business at Bell, and then eventually Bill's acquisition of Krager and Roy's eventual succession into ownership after Bill's passing. In 1963, Roy Richter and Krager helped to found SEMA, which at the time stood for Speed Equipment Manufacturers Association. It has since morphed two different times since then in terms of its actual name. Today it stands for Specialty Equipment Market Association because we were much larger than we were back then as the Speed Equipment Manufacturers Association. Today it's the Specialty Equipment Market Association, of which I'm very proud to have been a part of for many, many, many years. And following that founding of SEMA and the first SEMA show in the Dodgers Stadium basement, Roy developed the Krager SS wheel in 1964. Now, there's a little argument as to when the wheel was actually first produced, but it was designed in 64 by Roy. And the designs were sent to the die maker where the wheel was eventually put into production. And today we celebrate 1965 as its founding. And we're coming up to 2025, which will be its 60th year anniversary. In 65, of course, we became extremely well known on the drag racing circuit. There are images out there that can be sourced via the internet that illustrate car after car after car in the staging box of any drag racetrack throughout the country. And for the most part, they're all wearing Krager wheels. And 1970, we expanded our program into a much broader line of wheels. 1972, we were part of the Blue Flame high-speed run across the Bonneville Salt Flats, exceeding 670 miles an hour. We have been on some extremely fast vehicles over the years. 1972, we created our 5-second club, and it morphed into the 5-second funny car club eventually. And then in 2002, 2003, we were part of Carlisle Tire and Rubber, and eventually Carlisle Tire and Rubber spun off the Carlstar Group in 2014. And today we are part of the Carlstar Group, which as of February 29th of this year was acquired by Titan Tire and Rubber. and they are a massive corporation in the over the road, and not over the road, forgive me, off the road construction and ag implement tire and wheel market. So we're very proud to be a part of that organization today.
Outstanding. That is an impressive journey over the years, for sure. 60 years. Congratulations, by the way, coming up on 60 years doing that.
Thanks, Mike. It wasn't all my doing, believe you me.
Sure. But with all of this said, does anyone have comments or questions? And this includes people viewing. If the viewers have comments or questions, please leave them, and we'll be happy to address those. But Rob, any comments, questions?
Steve, did any car ever come out of the manufacturer with Krager rims on them?
Yeah, the Shelby Mustang at one point in time, we were involved in a production wheel for that car. My apologies because I cannot recall the specific year. It was a one-piece all aluminum wheel. Beautiful wheel, looked very similar to the Krager SS as it exists today. But yes, that was part of one of the original OE applications for our wheels.
Now, do you still participate in the SEMA show?
Absolutely. We'll be there this year on November.
I keep telling Mike he has to go and attend it.
Yes.
Forgive me, Rob, I didn't hear that.
I keep telling Mike he has to attend that show. It is huge.
One of these years.
I'll be able to get you through the front door, Mike.
I appreciate that.
What about, do you do the Louisville, Kentucky NSRA show?
We will be there in 2 weeks. August 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
Yep.
Yeah, Krager participates at a very wide array of what we call grassroots marketing, good guys shows, NSRA, back to the 50s, which I just dearly love up there in St. Paul. It's a phenomenal event, draws about 12,500, 13,000 cars a year. Quite an event, and we love to touch and feel our customers. Sorry, that probably sounded funny, but we just love to get face to face with our customers. Last week, unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the Columbus Nats, Good Guys Nats, but there was a gentleman that came to our booth with a Krager SS wheel tattooed to his back of his hand. I actually have a copy of that, but I'm not going to pull it up right now.
Very nice. Very nice. And any more questions, Rob?
I attend a lot of those car shows. I love Louisville. It's a big show.
Looks like Stacy's got a question. Does Krager still make aluminum slots? No, that has been a long gone style for us. Over the years, we actually have trimmed our line rather significantly, intentionally, but we're back to what we do really well, which is chrome aluminum, chrome steel. And we'll go over that shortly in this presentation.
Nice. And then my wonderful girlfriend is here tonight saying thank you, Mike, for doing an outstanding job with your podcast. Appreciate that. Also, we're going backwards in the comments here, but Stacy and Art Fosler say, hi, guys. Sounds good from Plattkill, New York. And we appreciate that. Oh, and also our friend Ben Thomas says it's a deep, rich history. Growing up, your car was naked without a set of Kragers on it.
So true.
Absolutely.
So true,
Those are the days. Now, I'm wondering if our friends over at Cousins, are we still froze? And if you are still froze, if you can hear me, maybe log out and back in again. Are you guys still with us, or? Because I was hoping to see if they had some comments and questions, because I know Bill was very interested in meeting you and being a part of this. In fact, I'm going to, when Rob is doing his AMSOIL, which is up next, I'm going to message them and see if we can get them to log out and back in again. But Rob, if you are ready, it's that time of night, time for you to speak to us about AMSOIL.
Okay. Good evening. Number of times we talked about the AMSOIL signature oil. It comes in 5W30, 10W30, 0W40. We even got a 0W8. We're the only ones that are on the market so far. It's good for 25,000 miles. It pours at 60 below zero, makes your engine run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, but you also get better performance out of the car. That's why a lot of people run it. Another big seller for the AMSOIL, there's our complete line of, we have a complete line of motorcycle oils. We have a complete line of small engine oils. We have the automatic transmission fluids and the gear lubes. They come in this really neat squeeze bottle, so it makes it really easy to fill up the rear ends. But those people with the older cars, the hot rods, anything 1980 and older, you need a high zinc oil. AMSOIL has a high zinc oil that has 14 parts per million of zinc. Comes in 10W30, 20W50, and even a 10W30. AMSOIL has a lot of other products available. Mike has a link you can click on and get one of our catalogs. It's here somewhere. One of our catalogs tells you a little bit about all the products we have available, because I can't mention them all. And we have a program where you can click on and become a preferred customer. It costs you $10 for 6 months, and you save 25% on all your orders. And every month they have a bonus. Right now their bonus is if you order, what is it, Mike, $75 worth? They're going to send you this free shampoo that AMSOIL just came out with last night. High foam shampoo. It's not the water that cleans your car, it's a shampoo. So by using if you click on become a preferred customer and use a free shampoo code when you go to order online, or you can call the 1-800 number, they're going to give you one of those bottles for free. The AMSOIL has a great program. We become the preferred customer. You can click on the Mike's site to sign up and use his code. Every time you buy something, it helps covers the cost of this program. So that's the best possible way to buy the product. If you want more information, click on the link Mike has available and we can help you. Or if you have any questions about what product, what vehicle, what oil, what vehicle takes, AMSOIL has a really neat website right on the front page where you click on, you put the year, the model, the engine, and it tells you every AMSOIL product available and how much it takes. Within 2 minutes, you can find out how much oil a CJ Jeep front transfer case takes. Some of the other manufacturers, if you got to go through the older manual, it's tough trying to find all that stuff. AMSOIL makes it real easy with their website. So for more information, click on their click on Mike's link that he has on this site to help find more information about AMSOIL. I can repeat myself again, Mike, but where are you?
No worries at all. Yeah, and we do appreciate everyone's support. That's how we pay the bills here at the podcast. When people click on our link and use the referral number that you find there, that's how we pay the bills here at the podcast. And it looks like our friends over at Cousins are back up and online. Can you guys see us and hear us okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. So while you guys still have daylight where you are, I know the daylight is burning here quickly. I wanted to ask you to maybe introduce your guys, and if you had some show and tell on some of those vehicles behind you, now is a good time to do that.
All right. So to my left here is my nephew, Will. He's been with me since about 13 years old and raised him from that age on, and always been at the shop, always worked on cars, worked on snowmobiles, been here a long time with us. And to my right is Matt. Matt, he's take apart, put together, fabricator, all around the car, but he doesn't do body work, painting, block sanding. He's not that guy, but more mechanical and metal fab than anything. So these guys been with me all the time, and these guys are also with me with the snowmobile racing.
Nice. Yeah, very great. Great to meet you guys. I know we've met before on the Snowmobile podcast, but it's nice to meet you on this podcast as well. And to round things out, being on all of my podcasts, this is great. Now, were you thinking about bringing the camera up close for those cars, or I have images of them as well, if whatever you'd prefer to do if you wanted to talk up those cars.
We can grab the phone and go up close to the cars. But I'd like to talk about the Cragar rim just for a second, if I may.
Please do, yeah.
When I was younger, building models, this is how it all started for me. I would build a model and really like that, and I'd go buy another model. So I'm a country boy. I grew up working on farms, baling hay, picking rocks, moving irrigation pipes, picking pickles. So any money that I made went for that kind of stuff, building balsa wood, World War II airplanes with my father. But my dad was not a car guy at all. A car was made to just go from point A to point B, but I really, from a very young age, liked the model cars. So then what happened pretty soon after I had about a half a dozen cars made, I decided that wheel looks better on that car, and maybe take that motor, take a little X-Acto knife and cut the motor off, a different motor, a different car. But in the plastic model world, Cragars are used very, very often. And they may not say Cragar, but it's that Cragar design rim. And that's where the love for Cragars came from, was on model cars when I was very young. So as I got older and started building cars, Cragar, for almost all my builds, are on my cars. Now there's some cars that, like I have a set of Magnum 500s on a 69 Dodge Coronet. I mean, you can't beat that look on Mopar. It's just how it is, you know. And so I got those on there. But my favorite wheel of all time is the Cragar SS rim.
Nice. And did you want to answer to that, Steve? Or
No, and it's a great explanation of how the love of Cragar wheel became prominent in his life. I too was a modeler, both planes as well as cars, and you're absolutely correct. The Cragar wheel style was very prevalent in all the different models out there. Today, we like to call the Cragar SS period correct for the 60s and 50s and 60s and 70s. But just this morning, I received a fantastic photo of a bright red late model CJ with Cragar SSs all the way around. The only thing that was missing was the fifth wheel on the back end. And I mean, it was a fantastic look even on that car. It is unfortunate that we don't fit anything from about 2000 on, but it is period correct for the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s. So thanks for that. I really appreciate it. Great looking cars, by the way, in the background. And
thank you. I've got some more pictures of some cars that of mine that we built. One's a C3 Ford Ranchero. That was a purpose-built 70s themed car. That's got Cragar SSs on it. And back in the 90s, when the NMCA started, I was a street racer that got off the street and went to the NMCA. And I didn't run Cragars on that car at that time, but I sold my Corvette, which was in the modified class. We ran a 796, like 178 miles an hour in the quarter. And then what happened next was I sold the car in 2004, and with no intention, 17 years later, the car came back to me, and I've got my original drag car, and I put Cragar SSs on it. So Mike has a picture of that, and it's got 15 by 14s on the back, I believe they are. That's the widest rim I could get for it, but it's a modified street car. But I'll get that back on the street, drivable here maybe in the next year or so. But right now it runs like 890s. The way the guy had it, so it's a pretty exciting car. But I got Cragar S's on that also.
nice.
So,
yeah,
and then I had a beautiful 74 short pickup. Pardon me?
No, go ahead. Keep going.
I had a 70 Ford pickup truck, short box, kind of slammed on the ground, but just a nice stance. That also had Cragar SSs. So yeah, like 95% of my builds get Cragars, Cragar SSs.
Yeah, my first car, my 67 Volkswagen Beetle, which I acquired in 1970, had SSs on it, front and back.
Nice.
Nice.
Now we've got comments aplenty coming in here. Let's take a look at some of these. Our dear friend Andrew Sean Newsom is in the house. He says he loves the retro big rally rims. Excellent. And then our friend Terry Mountney from Australia is in the house watching tonight. Says, hi, Mike. Good to catch the show tonight. And it's morning for him over there. Very cool. And then, here we go. Andrew Sean Newsom says, where are the cousins out of? I'm going to pop a graphic for them in just a moment and show you. I just want to take this one other comment real quick. Our good friend Ben Thomas says 178 miles per hour in the quarter mile. Wowzer, he says, don't blink. And then I've got the graphic.
It was a heck of a ride. Fun ride.
I can imagine. Now, here are the details on Cousins Custom Body and Paint. They are based out of Polonia, Wisconsin. They're coming live to us from there tonight. And
so the Corvette is certified to go 750 in a quarter mile. And to go that fast, you have to have an NHRA, IHRA, drag racing license. And with all my screwing around with my normal cars on the street, I got pulled over plenty of times. Believe me, I never met the right cop that I felt comfortable, but I always wanted to pull out my NHRA license and say, officer, I have a license to go this fast.
Yeah.
Nice.
See how that works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to find the right cop, and I never found him.
You know, you
Nice.
also mentioned the Magnum 500, which is a great looking wheel, and many of the different manufacturers out there over the years have produced something similar. But near and dear my heart, because I started with Keystone wheel, the Keystone Classic is a great looking wheel that emulates the Magnum 500 very well, and does seem to look just right on those Dodge and even some of the Fords out there that had the Magnum 500 look to it. So
Definitely. Now, while you still have daylight over there, Bill, is there anything you wanted to bring us in for a closer look with those cars while there's still daylight? I'll put
So
you
living
full
out in the
screen.
country, you can tell our service is always the best. So we'll try to make this work. Can you?
The audio is getting a little choppy. I wonder if you're getting further from the Wi-Fi.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can now. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Let's stand like this.
But the picture's freezing up.
Yeah, we might be venturing too far from the Wi-Fi,
okay.
unfortunately.
So what we have, the car on the left here, it's a 1958 Chevy Del Rey, and
Yeah, I think we're chopping up, unfortunately. But the good news is I have a video clip that Bill sent me with a testimonial and a close-up of this very car. So yeah, it
Can you hear
sounds,
me now?
guys, if you can hear me, it sounds like we were getting too far from the Wi-Fi and it was getting choppy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that video that you shared with me, Bill, that testimonial video.
okay.
So I'm going to roll that video, and that will hopefully give us the look at that car that you were hoping to. It's just going to take a minute here for me to pull it up. And that's the fun of doing live podcasts, is the unpredictability of it.
Well, we normally have good cell service right here. I'm a little disappointed. It's not, it's not working out the best. But sorry about that. But this is where the cars were, so I wanted to show you. But you can hear me okay now, Mike?
Yes, much better now. Yeah.
Okay, so the car we're looking at on the left is a 1958 Chevy Del Rey, and I got a little creative with the body side trim. So that's not Impala trim, that's not a Bel Air trim, that's not even the Del Rey trim, but it's my trim that I came up with to put on that car to do a paint divider system. So I painted the whole car that pearl dark charcoal, and then I taped that off, and then I painted the candy green over the top of that, and that's how that car turned out. And I built that car exactly like if you were watching the movie American Graffiti. So maybe the 55 Chevy, you took out the coupe and you put that car in, or if you took out the 55 Chevy and you put that in, now I'm racing the coupe. That's what I was trying, like that era, that theme of car of that era.
Nice. Very nice.
And then the other car is a pretty rare car, but they're not money rare, but it's a 1979 Impala Aero Coupe. And what that is that's got that angled rear window like the Monte Carlos did for NASCAR. So what a lot of people don't know about that car is 77, 78, 79. That was only a 3-year run of that car right there. That was supposed to be NASCAR stock car. And in the wind tunnel, it actually showed excellent results. So Chevrolet was very, very excited. Well, they got in the hands of the stock car racers, Darrell Waltrip. I don't know all the names, but Darrell for sure tried them. And they just weren't very aerodynamic against other cars and other traffic. So the Monte Carlo that they were using showed to be a little bit better. So that car never really took off for NASCAR. And then they just stayed with the Monte Carlo for all those years. But that was supposed to be Chevrolet's top stock car for like Dale Earnhardt, Waltrips, Schraders, all those guys who raced back then. So, but I was young in the body shop. One of those cars came in and I just fell in love with that rear window. and that's why I decided to build one of those. And of course, I put the Krager SSs on it.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, and it looks nice. I've got some images that you sent me of this car also to get us a closer look at that. But yeah, great car, great story behind that car as well. And we have comments coming in. Let's see. We've got Mike Whiteside, regular viewer in the house. He said, "Hi, fellas. I'm a little late tonight. No worries at all." Ben Thomas says, "Krager SS, obviously speed rated. Good to know. What's the maximum speed rating on that?" Thoughts on that, Steve?
Well, wheels in general aren't speed rated anymore. There was a time when SFI, the SEMA Foundation Incorporated, was a part of SEMA, and we were actually testing wheels and speed rating them. But that pretty much has gone by the wayside. So to put a speed rating on a wheel is not really anything that's done today. But I can tell you that they're gonna withstand the speed rating of any tire you can put on it.
Nice. And also, Andrew Sean Newsom's talking about the 334. Could that be that Chevy we were looking at a moment ago?
That's a 79 Chevy Impala.
All right.
Aero Coupe.
I'm not sure where he's going with
And
the
then-
334, but
It's not a Krager model.
And then
all right. Well, I'm not sure where he was going with that, but let's continue. Stacy and Art Fosler are asking a question also, wanting to know if the Krager SS wheels are also made in aluminum.
Krager SS wheels are made today as what we call a composite wheel, aluminum center welded into a steel rim. We did for a period of time build what we called the 610 series. That was an all aluminum cast wheel that emulated the SS look, chrome plated, and that went the wayside. All of our wheels are manufactured here in the States. We have some offshore manufacturing of centers, but we do not offer any wheels today that are 100% offshore built. And that 610 was an offshore built wheel, and that vendor went away basically during the period of COVID. So that's why the 610 series wheel, which was a beautiful wheel, didn't have quite the same lip that a steel rim produces, but it was a beautiful wheel, and we had a lot of loyal followers to that style. But it went away a couple of years ago.
Gotcha. And then Andrew Sean Newsom is saying, no, he likes that model of rim, I think is what he was trying to tell us. And then Kevin Culhane says, wow, an Impala Aero Coupe. He said he never knew about that. He said it's very cool. He loves the Grand Prix and the Monte Carlo Aero Coupes. Very cool. And while we're talking with the stalls over at Cousins, Rob, did you have any comments, questions on what we've been looking at?
Paint job sure looks pretty good in that car.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you talked that you go to SEMA. My wife and I, Becky, we've been to SEMA since 2015-ish. We've been going to SEMA, but in 2019 there was a program out there called Mavericks of Color, and in 2019 I was awarded one of 3 Best Painters of the Year award, and this is why with my custom painting, all the motorcycles, the other cars that we have done. So it was a heck of an achievement and a very, very, very proud award to win. That's for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very
Congratulations on that. Very cool. Oh, and he was talking about the big rally styles. He was saying he liked those. And then, were there any other questions for Bill at this point, or? Because I've got the video clip. I'm going to cue that up. This is a testimonial that Bill did with that 58 Chevy, and he was talking about the Chevy as well as his experiences with Kragers. Let's take a look at that real quick.
Hey, my name is Bill Stoll. I'm the owner of Cousins Custom Body and Paint in Colonial, Wisconsin. I celebrate 33 years in business this August 1st. I've been building cars for a very long time. This is a 1958 Chevy Del Rey that we built last year. Candy apple green, a candy charcoal. If you come over here and look at the deck lid, I striped out the deck lid. Just to give it a little bit of flair, a little bit of bling. Let's walk around to the front. So my vision was when you see an air cleaner come through the hood, you see one air cleaner, you see a blower. My vision was to have 2 air cleaners because I got 2 carbs sticking through the hood. So it's a 383 stroker with a cross ram, 2 4 barrels, and it makes about 500 horse. The interior is pretty clean. It's just kind of like AeroCorrect 1958. Nothing too exotic, nothing too special, but it is a very nice, clean interior. Super Sun Tack, AeroCorrect. And now, when you build a car, there's lots of things that go into building a car. The colors, the kind of car, the shape, the colors that you come up with, like I said. But one thing that can really make and break a car is a wheel. And my number one choice for all my builds is Cragar SS rims. I've been using Cragars for 30 plus years on all my builds. Now, not every build does get a Cragar, but most of my builds do. And Cragars have pretty much withstand time. I mean, they're an ageless wheel. And I've used them on all my builds and off and on throughout the years. And like I said, not every car that we build gets a Cragar, but most of the cars that we do get Cragar SS's.
Very cool. Well, yeah, thank you so much, Bill, for that testimonial. That's wonderful, and a beautiful car as well. And while we're talking about Bill and his business, let me pop a graphic on the screen one more time. Do some shameless plug for Bill and his business. There's a link in the description to his website and his Facebook page. Please patronize them. They do excellent work, and he's a good personal friend of mine. He's been on our other podcast many times, on our Vintage Snowmobile podcast. But before we move on to the rest of the podcast, any other comments from anyone about what we've just been looking at? All right, so we're going to move on. Now we're going to go to item number 5. These are images that have been sent to us from the viewers. Now, what I did is a little while back, I put a graphic on the Facebook page, and I invited people to show us their Cragars, and show us their Cragars. They did. So let me pull some of them up here. We'll take a look at them. I've got a dozen or so. We've got this one from Bob Peterson. We've got this one from Bob Riggy. I'm not sure how he's pronouncing that. Brian Ashley showed us his Cragars. David Slefane showed us his Cragars. He's a very frequent visitor on the Facebook page. David Gastineau showed us his Cragars. Looks like I think a 57 Chevy there. Donnie Watson showed us his Cragars. Greg Martin showed us his Cragars. Jerry Lee Eaton showed us his Cragars on an El Camino, or maybe that's the GMC Caballero. I'm not sure. Can anyone confirm or deny whether that's a El Camino or a Caballero? Yeah, I'm not sure. But Leslie Wilkinson showed us his Cragars. Michael Hires showed us his Cragars. R.J. Lynch showed us his Cragars on another 57 Chevy. Robert Adams showed us his Cragars. Steve Baston showed us his Cragars. And that was pretty much it for people showing us their Cragars. We thank them very, very much for that, and we hope they're viewing tonight so they can see this all come full circle like that. Very cool. So let me find my place here. I had something I was going to do as part of number 3, but I wanted to do the things with cousins while they still had daylight. But I've got a video clip of an interview I did earlier today with our good friend John over at Autobuy Magazine. He's got some vehicles with Cragars he'd like to show us. So let me cue up that video clip here, and we'll take a look at that right here. And it's taken a moment to load, which it sometimes does.
Do you want me to sing?
Yes, Jeopardy theme. Oh, there we go. Well, hello, friends. It's time for another visit with our friend John at Autobuy Magazine. How you doing tonight, John?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good.
So tonight we're doing a Krager theme because we've got the national sales manager for Krager Wheels in the house with us tonight. So we decided to go with the theme. And I know you've got some good picks for us.
Yeah. Pull up the first one right there. You know, that Krager Raider wheel right there. That's a great example. They've been making these wheels since back in the 60s. One of the first real hot rod wheels. You know, this one's on a Corvette Resto Mod right there. I mean, it just doesn't get any more iconic than that right there. This is a cool car, complete Resto Mod, frame off restoration, 3-speed automatic. I think I would have went with the 700 R4, but anyway, really cool car, and what a cool look. So
yeah, for sure.
That's the first one there. And then this one here, that picture got a little bit scrunched there, but it just shows how the Krager wheel looks good on about any size of car, and you don't get much bigger and longer than a Chevy Impala there. This is the quintessential Chevy Impala from back in the early 60s, 327 motor, 4-barrel, automatic transmission, factory air. This is a factory air car. It's pretty cool. So, but again, the wheels look just great on there.
It sets it off nice for sure.
Yep. Now this car here, this is one of JJ Rod's car. All of these cars came from the pages of Autobuy Magazine. JJ Rods runs a 2-page ad with us every month. This is one of his newer cars. This is a Nova, 68 Nova. Again, the Krager wheels really look good on that. It looks good with about any color, but it just always seems that black and Krager wheels just automatically screams hot rod.
Yes, it sets it off nice for sure.
Yep. This one here, now we got a Mopar. Look at that. 68 Plymouth GTX recreation, which I think what they mean by that is a tribute car. This probably wasn't a big block car to begin with, but it is a convertible. So somebody put the 440 and the 4-speed in it to make this GTX recreation. Great looking car. Again, huge car, and the wheels look great underneath there. And then the other one, this one here, the folder didn't come out quite as good. Again, another one from the Auto Mall, one of our dealers there, dealer ad. This is an SS Tribute. Again, somebody built a 69 Camaro with probably a bare bones zero option car, and then they added different motor and whatnot to build the SS. But again, with the Krager wheels there.
That sets it off nice.
Yep. And then yet another. We should have got a Ford in here somewhere, but they would look good in Krager's too. Another Nova, a little bit newer one than that 68. This is a 72 Nova SS, a real SS, big block car, black interior, super nice looking car. And again, nothing looks cooler than screams hot rod like the Krager wheels.
It's true. So iconic. You just cannot go wrong on just about anything.
No, when you got into the late 80s and the 90s, then you got into billet wheels, and then that kind of became the rave. But prior to that, if you wanted to be cool, you had to have a set of Kragers.
Yeah, and if you're going for that retro look, you just cannot go wrong.
No, one of my favorite wheels. So
for sure. Well, great.
Well, I got for you this month.
Yes, thank you so much, John, for coming on. We appreciate it.
All right, you bet.
We'll catch you next month.
All right.
Cool. Yeah. So thank you so much to John at Autobuy Magazine. Look for it at the web address on your screen, and also on your local newsstand. Reactions to that, Steve? Any reactions to what we just
like that?
No, that was a very interesting presentation. It's really neat to see all the different vehicles that are for sale that still are shod with Krager SS's.
Yes, the legacy lives on, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Yes, it's
Sure
nice
does.
to see that. And Rob, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to go back to Andrew. He's made a couple of comments. Andrew Sean Newsom. He's made a couple of comments about the big rally style wheel. And the only, we build rally style wheels in all steel, both painted and chrome, and they're just basically 15-inch wheels. However, when he's referring to the big rally style wheels, I presume he's talking about our style 380S, which was a 17-inch and an 18-inch all aluminum rally style wheel. Not
Is that
pictured
on here?
No, it's not pictured there. It was
Okay.
going back to my earlier comment where all of the one-piece aluminum wheels have gone the wayside because of factories that have been going out of business since COVID. But that particular wheel was a one-piece all aluminum wheel available in a 10-hole application, 2 different bolt circles within the bolt pad. And it was both a 17-inch and an 18-inch option. So I didn't mean to disregard you, Andrew, but that was, I kind of figured out that's what you were referring to. I hope I addressed your question.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you for speaking to that. We appreciate it. And then as far as what we were looking at with Autobuy Magazine, anyone from Cousins have any reactions or comments to any of that?
It's just awesome. A lot of great pictures, a lot of great cars, and just goes to show that a Krager SS will fit on any car and that car look good, and the car makes the rim look good. I think, the combination together is a winning combination. Put the two together.
Oh, for sure.
I do have to comment that I don't think that first Corvette was actually a Krager SS. I think that was a billet one-piece aluminum wheel.
Oh, okay.
It has the look.
Sure.
Can't beat the look.
True. Well, that's a good.
In all my experience of buying wheels, there are knockoffs that are pretty close to a Krager. Like I've even seen walking up to cars at car shows. I'm like, oh, there's a Krager S. Oh, no, it's not. So there are some that do fool you at first, but if you know what you're looking at, you understand and realize that's not a Krager SS.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's the thing. The best is always copied. The original and the best
Right.
always gets copied and mimicked, and it's true. And Rob, any comments on what we've been looking at, or?
Has Krager rims been copied before?
Oh, just 100 different times or so. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we were guilty at Keystone of having to emulate the Krager SS wheel. We called it the Raider. It was slightly different than the Krager SS in that although the spoke from a forward view was very identical to the Krager spoke, if you looked at it from the side as it was going down the street, it was somewhat curved, so the entire wheel center looked kind of domed. That was the Keystone Raider. And there are wheels today, to this very day, that are out there that emulate, if not duplicate, the Krager SS style. Sure, there are.
I know from the SEMA show, I never counted, but how many different manufacturers are there?
Well, when I first started going to the SEMA show, 1979, when my son was born, there were about 5 or 6 true wheel manufacturers and about 5 or 6 wheel marketers that were bringing in product or buying from other sources. There weren't that many. Today, there's well over 100, 120 different wheel companies. I can't call them all manufacturers, many of them buy, but well over 120 different.
Wow, that's impressive. Now we've got comments that have come in. Let's take a look. Andrew says, "Thank you, Steve." Andrew's my nephew, by the way.
Oh, well, and that 344 is a style that we have in the current Krager line. It is the painted steel rally wheel.
Gotcha. Okay, that's where he was going with that. Okay.
Yeah.
That all makes sense now. And then Ben Thomas says, imitated but never duplicated. Absolutely. Well, cool. So we are on let me switch screens here. We're on item number 6. Now we're going to learn now about the current Krager wheel product line. Now, a week or two ago, Steve was at an event in St. Paul, Minnesota, and we went live from there, did a quick video clip, and I edited a version of that we're going to take a look at right now. and Steve is going to talk to us about the current lineup right here.
Steve Swanson with Krager Wheel, actually part of the Carlstar Group. We are part of the Krager, BlackRock, and Unique Wheel program, and I'm the general manager, national sales manager for the company. And we're just going to go through some of our wheel styles for the day. We're presently exhibiting at Back to the 50s here in St. Paul, Minnesota. The event is being held in the St. Paul, Minnesota State Fairgrounds. It's a beautiful facility and a beautiful event. About 12,500 cars come here every year for this event, and we exhibit here annually. Right now, this event runs through Sunday until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Tomorrow from 8 to 6. So please come on by. We're in booth GS12 under the grandstand.
Excellent. So
we're going to go over a few of the wheels that we have available here at the show, and just kind of walk through what each is and how they fit into our program. So here's our booth. That's our friendly Robert Woods, who's our head of Style Wheel Customer Service, working with one of our customers. But as we walk over here, you'll see a lot of wheels that emulate the Krager SS in one way, shape, or form. So I'm going to walk you through the differences between them so that everybody's clear on, that's one of the biggest questions we have at these events. What is the difference between this wheel, that wheel, this wheel, that wheel? Because they all seem to look alike. So the original Krager, which actually is going to be 60 years old next year in 2025. This is it right here. This is their Krager 08 61 Series Unilug. And this wheel comes in both 14-inch, 15-inch applications. Unilug means that it actually fits 3 different bolt circles for one wheel. And so it uses a long mag shank lug nut, uses a special Krager SS washer. It's available, as I said, in 14-inch and 15-inch. It's the only Krager SS that we build in a reverse style. Reverse meaning the center is turned around and you get much more lip on the front side. Back in the early 60s, 70s, and 80s, this was the period correct wheel. And this is what everybody wants on their 50, 60, 70, 80s cars. In the early 2000s, we were running into some questions about Unilug. The new techs that were assembling tires and wheels weren't really familiar with how a Unilug works. So we came out with what we call the direct bolt. It's, as you can see, it's identical in appearance. The direct bolt is got the same spoke shape, it's got the same lip shape, everything is the same except that you'll notice here, these are conical seat lug nuts, where this lug nut uses a washer. The Unilug requires a special washer. The direct bolt fits only one bolt circle and uses standard conical seat lug nuts. We always recommend the use of bulge seat lug nuts, but that's what this wheel is. This is the 61C. This is the 0861 Unilug direct bolt. This wheel is available in only 15-inch and 17-inch. We don't build a 14-inch in this wheel, but we do build something rather unique in that we build a 6-lug for this particular wheel. Most of Krager applications are pre-2000s, 1999 and earlier. This 6-lug actually fits from 1998 to 2018 light trucks. Then we go to the Keystone Classic. This wheel is near and dear to my heart because that's where I started my custom wheel journey. Back in 1979, I worked for Keystone, and this wheel is available through us today. We own the rights to this brand, and we offer it in a 15-inch from 15.6 to 15.12. Beautiful wheel. It also uses a mag shank lug nut with an oval washer because this fits 3 bolt circles as well. We call it the tri-lug. The Krager is the Unilug. The Keystone Classic is the tri-lug. Now we got a real interesting wheel here in our 4-lug golf cart wheel. We get a lot of questions on this wheel because, oh, does it fit the early Vegas or the early Pintos, or can I buy this for my whatever early 4-lug? No, this is a golf cart specific wheel available in a 10-inch, a 12-inch, and a 14-inch diameter. You'll notice that we have our tire mounted on it because we do sell it both as a wheel only or with tire and wheel assembly. This is a 4-on-4-inch bolt circle. Uses conical seat. It is not DOT approved. That's why it cannot be put on a car. Moving on to another one of our composite wheels, very popular, 390 C Series. This is the Street Pro. This is a dual lug application. You'll notice the large center cap here that their lug nut cover that covers the lug bolt area. This is a 10-hole, so you just clock it to the right bolt circle, either 4.5 for your early Fords, 5 on 4 and 3/4 for the mid-size GMs. This wheel is a beautiful wheel, and it does include the spinner. Moving on, we also have just added from our unique product line, unique as in the brand name unique, not unique as in odd. This is the Supreme wheel. Unfortunately, we failed to have the decal on it. My apologies, but this is a Supreme wheel, very similar to the early Rocket Supreme wheel. This is a less expensive version of a 5-spoke chrome wheel, and it's actually very popular. It's direct bolt. Every single one is specific bolt circle, either 5 on 5, 5 on 4 and 3/4, or 5 on 4 and a half. But it's a good looking wheel. Finally, not finally, but in chrome, finally, this is our Smoothie. Smoothie comes with the center cap. It's a 10-hole wheel. It's in a 5 on 4 and a half, 4 and 3/4, or it's a 5 on 4 and 3/4, 5 on 5 bolt circle. And this is available through any one of our distributors still. As I said, it does include the center cap. Finally, the Rally. The Rally wheel is a gray painted wheel. Does not include the center cap. The center cap is an extra cost to this wheel, but it's very popular for those guys who want to color match their vehicle and make certain that it matches up with the colors of the car that they've got. So that today is pretty much the extent of the Cragar program, and again, we're at the Back to the 50s event, which is why we have people in the booth, and my apologies for any overspeak, but this is our booth, this is where we're at, this is what we're doing for the entire rainy weekend here in St. Paul, Minnesota. Mike, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for that presentation, Steve. That was great. And Rob, any questions on that? Any comments, reactions?
Roughly, what's the cost of the rims for the golf carts? I just built a golf cart. I haven't got the rims on it yet. Can I pick them up at Louisville?
We'll see what we can do. Just
I think
stay
I'm
in
going to be
touch.
at Louisville this year.
Yeah, stay in touch. I do want to add an adjustment to my description of the Smoothie. I mentioned to the 2 bolt circles on the Smoothie, 5 on 4 and a half, 4 and 3/4, and then 5 on 4 and 3/4, 5 on 5. That was an error. There's actually 3 different bolt circle configurations for the Smoothie. It's 5 on 4 and a half, 4 and 3/4 in one. In another, it's 5 on 5 and 5 on 5 and a half in another. And then there's a straight 6 on 5 and a half in another bolt circle configuration. So I was in error in that video, but I just want to correct that.
Cool. Yeah, thank you
When
for
would the
that.
one rim come without a hub?
Forgive me?
That one right there comes without the center hub.
That one comes without the center cap. And the reason,
Everybody wants the caps.
well, yeah, but the reason for that, Rob, is that there are a lot of those center caps that are vehicle specific. It'll say American Motors Corporation, or it'll say General Motors Corporation, or it'll say Ford.
So you have different caps available for it.
So those are aftermarket caps that are available. So we sell the cap that you see there if you wish a plain ribbed look like that, or you can go to the aftermarket and you can find a vehicle specific center cap that would also fit.
Nice.
Nice. And circling back also to the golf cart rim, let's see if I can pause on that. If Andrew Sean Newsom is still watching, I know that he'd like a set of those for his golf cart. If he's watching, I guarantee you he's been salivating over that, and he'll be going to sleep with that in his dreams tonight.
Well, you know, there's a funny sidebar to that wheel. As I mentioned early on, as I was talking about the crooked road that Cragar has walked over the years, many owners, not only just Roy Richter, but Michael Hartzmark and, you know, now Carl Starr, of course. But in the interim there, somewhere in the 90s, there was a family out of Iowa that were golf cart manufacturers, and they acquired the Cragar brand for a short period of time. And that's how we ended up with this wheel. The most popular size that we sell is a 12-inch, but we do have the 10-inch and the 14-inch as well.
Nice. And turns out Andrew Sean Newsom is watching. He says, I was wondering how much they were. Absolutely. So he did notice that. Outstanding.
Yeah. Most of our warehouse distributors, retail, e-tail outlets sell that product, both with and without the tire.
Nice. And if any of our viewers have any questions about the product line, this is the time to ask those questions. And Rob, did you have any other questions, comments, reactions?
I didn't realize Krager had that big of a selection of rims. Yes, very impressed.
Definitely. And then I've got another comment here, and this is going to transition into something else. This will all make sense here in a moment. But our good friend Ben Thomas says you mentioned emulation of the SS. Even mini bike makers were styling their wheels on that design in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
And where I'm going to segue with that is Ben and I do, and Rob do a mini bike podcast. And this is a good time for a shameless plug for that podcast. And with your permission, Steve, I'd like to share that image you shared with me today of you on a mini bike.
You're not going to do that to me.
It's up to you.
No, go ahead.
All right, let's see. Here it is.
1968. We just moved from Chicago to Southern California. And my 15th birthday, my dad got me that used mini bike. That's my younger brother on the back end. Believe it or not, he's only a year and a half younger. He's a little guy.
Wow. So you just experienced a growth spurt, it sounds like.
Yeah,
Do
somewhere.
you still have that, Steve?
Do I have the bike? No, that's long gone. That's long gone. I've replaced it with real motorcycles since.
Nice. And then here's a graphic for Ben's mini bike podcast. Just search for vintage, Vintage Mini Bike Lovers for the Facebook page called Vintage Mini Bike Lovers. We do a podcast once a month, and it's a whole lot of fun. If you like the mini bikes from the 60s and 70s, that's a podcast you're really going to enjoy. We just did one Sunday night, and we had a really good time with it.
Make sure you send me a link on that, Mike.
Definitely. Yes. And then go ahead.
If we've got time, I'd like to go back to the graphic that Christian sent you of the Krager product line, because there's a few styles that we overlooked. Yeah, thank you. I covered everything across the top two lines, but Krager also offers the 4 painted style wheels across the bottom. The 310 series in what we call the painted white Nomad 8-spoke that everybody's familiar with forever. We offer that in a wide 5 for the early model Volkswagen, as well as a narrow 4 for the later model Volkswagen Beetles, as well as all the other applications that one might think the 8-spoke would fit. Then we have the 342, which we call the D window. We have I'm going to have to put my glasses on. My apologies. We have the 365, which is a basic 5-spoke, and then we have the 397, which is our most popular painted wheel right there, the what we call the Soft 8. So that's the entire Krager wheel program as it exists today.
Now, when you talk about painted wheel, we can order that to the color we want?
No. They are painted in white or black. The Krager black is a gloss black. We also have a product line called Black Rock, and that is a matte black for the same style wheels. But truthfully, we get more hits on the gloss black wheel. It's easier to take care of.
Do you have a website we can look up, see what rims would fit which vehicles?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, KragerWheel.com. Wheel is singular, KragerWheel.com. And as you all probably know, Krager spelled Kragar. We get a lot of people spelling it with an ER. But KragerWheel.com. And it's got a visualizer, and it allows you to run through our various wheel styles and fit check to your vehicle. Then we also have BlackRockWheel.com, which is our light truck SUV brand of wheels available as well.
There are links to the website and the Facebook page in the description, by the way. So if you are curious, wanting to learn more, just click those links and that'll take you right over there.
Thanks, Mike.
Sure. And we've got a comment that's come in. Here we go. Ben Thomas says, awesome. Steve is a vintage mini bike lover. I knew you'd like that, Ben.
Yeah, I need that link.
Yes, I will definitely send you that. Yeah, he does a great page with that. And we've been having fun collaborating on that. But yeah, let me see. We are on item number 7. I think I'm going to skip 9 tonight just in the interest of time. But we've got a couple of really interesting cars that have Krager wheels on them, since this is a Krager themed night. Item number 7 is a 1972 Chevy Sevelle SS. This car is for sale by our friends over at MGM Classic Cars. Let me cue that up here, and we'll take a look at that. Here it is right here. Yeah, thank you so much to our friends over at MGM Classic Cars for that cool footage. Reactions to that, Steve?
No, it's a beautiful car. I had to chuckle at the tire pressure on the inside of the left door, 26 and 30 foot-pounds.
Yes,
PSI,
yeah.
I should say, 26 and 30 PSI. That's a pretty low tire pressure.
Yeah. Good call. I do recall seeing that. I'm trying to find it, and I don't know if I'm going to find it with this. Oh, I saw it there for a second. Right there. See if I can. Oh, this thing is so sensitive. There we go.
Yeah, 26
that?
and 30.
Crazy. Hey, Rob, any reactions to this?
What a great investment something like that is. I know when I was a kid, I put money in RSPs, and now I'm over the age of 65. I got to pay tax when I take it out. If I would have bought something like that and put it away and not wrecked it, it'd be a good investment.
Yes,
Yeah, had we known.
it's true.
And I just found it on the website, and it's down $5,000 this week.
Oh no.
Yep,
Oh, crazy.
they reduced the price by $5,000. But what a great car to own.
Yeah, and it's got those Kragers on it, by the way. Those
They do
iconic
look good on there,
Kragers.
don't they? Those Kragers.
They set it off nice.
That adds thousands right there.
Yes, for sure. Let's see. We got comments coming in here. We got Stacy and Art Fosler saying nice Chevelle, but it doesn't have the magic button that Art's has. Art has a magic button in his Chevelle. It's a exhaust redirect that avoids the mufflers and gets kind of a straight pipe effect. Sounds really nice. And then Ben Thomas says a beautiful Chevelle and true to form, the Kragers look right at home, truly completing the iconic 70s muscle car look. Absolutely. Yeah, it is. It's correct. It absolutely is. Ben Thomas also says, I'll be happy to transport that to your home, Rob, free of charge if you buy it.
No, it's not a standard. You can keep it.
I like this Ben Thomas guy.
Yes. Yeah. He's the host of that mini bike podcast we were talking about earlier. Oh, and here we go. Terry Mountainy from Australia saying, great show this morning. It's morning where he is, Mike, and some cars I haven't seen before that we don't get there in Australia, for sure.
Ask him if Kragers are popular in Australia.
Oh, yes. Good question. Terry, do you see Kragers out there at your car
I
events?
know they like American cars there. Oh,
Yes, and we've got to get Terry. We've got to get you and Dale on the podcast again. That was an enormous amount of fun the last time we did that. We've got to do that again sometime soon to get that on the calendar.
Yeah, we actually have a brand new customer in Melbourne, Canterbury Tire, that is distributing the Krager brand wheels now for us. So
Nice. Yeah, Terry, if you caught that, Canterbury Tire in Melbourne, Australia, is a distributor for the Krager brand.
have you ever, Steve? You ever caught the show where we had the Australian people on?
no, I
They
have
have a
not.
parade going down their main street, and it's all American cars.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was over there and I enjoyed the Holden cars that they had available at the time. Holden at the time, this goes back to 2009. They were still producing a El Camino-esque kind of a car.
Yep.
I can't
A Ute,
remember.
I think.
I
They
can't
call
remember.
it a Ute.
Hmm?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. They call it a Ute.
Well, this was a full size. The Ute is a smaller one, isn't it?
Well, that's a generic term I think they call for El Caminos and Rancheros and
yeah,
stuff like that.
okay. Sorry, you're right. My apologies.
And I only know that because Dale and Terry told me that on the podcast that night.
Mhm.
But go ahead. You were saying?
No, I just like that. I miss that body style.
And if you look
Sure.
in the history, they're the original designers of the El Camino, and they sent it to North America, the design.
Yes.
Mm.
And then Kevin Culhane is saying the wheels make that car. They certainly do set it off nice. Absolutely. Well, cool. Let me remove this and get back to where we need to be here. We're on item number 8. This is a video clip from a car show I went to in Newport, Vermont a couple of years ago. Met up with Tony and Sheila Cody. They've got a 69 Pontiac Bonneville Thunderwagon. You might be wondering, well, what's a Thunderwagon? We're about to find out. Let me cue up this video here and learn about a Thunderwagon.
So if you go on Google and you I'm Tony Cody, by the way, the owner of the 69 Thunderwagon. And if you Google Thunderwagon, you'll see this car. come up as a Hemmings article, and you can get this sign right here is everything that Hemmings wrote about the car. This car is one of 2,200 and change made, and there's less than 200 of them left.
Wow.
So, and they're probably not in this condition.
Yeah, I wouldn't think. Yeah.
So I bought it as is. The only thing I've done to it is put the Krager wheels on it.
Yeah. That brings back memories of back in the day, riding in the back of a station wagon as a kid.
And this model actually has got a 428 in it, which was on the rare side too for them to put a 428 in a wagon. So.
Yeah, those Kragers look nice.
I'm hinging
go ahead. Yeah.
I'm hinging on the idea of it probably in its day was a family wagon for a funeral home.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Back when they did funerals respectfully.
Yeah.
They had a couple, 2 or 3 cars, and this would be probably to carry the family.
Yeah.
So that's my guess.
That makes sense. It looks like
And it holds 9 people.
9 people. That would make that's very plausible.
And there again, only making 2,200 of them would speak for itself, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole thing's been redone. It's got 35,000 miles on 428 rebuild, right down to the crank, and I believe it was bored 30 over, so it's got all the power it needs.
Yeah, I bet.
So it goes well.
Yeah.
Gets 14 miles to the gallon with the air on or with the air off. It doesn't matter. So it's a good unit anyhow.
Yeah.
So that's
very cool. I'm gonna come around this angle here.
That's what we got here.
Actually, I'm gonna do a pull out.
The Bonneville is rare for something like this. And this car's also got 34 options. 34 options from the factory.
Yeah.
Actually, you can see it here. I don't know if you can.
Oh yes, yeah.
And the sticker price was $62.15.
Wow.
It's even got an 8-track player in it from the factory.
Nice.
Which works.
It works, yeah.
It works. Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna get a shot of your tag too here.
Yeah.
428 4-barrel. That's what the 4 means.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, somebody
get a wide shot here too.
White blazer out in front of the gate out here, and nobody can drive in and out. We need that white.
Yeah, if you could back up just a little bit. Cool. Thank you. There we go.
The white blazer out here.
That's the angle right there.
Front gate, please go and move it. It needs to be moved so people can get out.
And then I want to get the interior too. Anything about the interior to talk up? Or?
It's all original as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go custom in some point of its life because it needs a little help here and there. But,
sure.
And I've got to. If you go look at my 57, you can see what I mean by custom.
Sure.
The work that the guy does.
Yeah.
It's pretty impeccable.
Number 39. Number 39.
Of course, when we say custom, it would be off the charts for sure.
Nice.
Especially with that much room to do his work,
Sure.
What's John's last name? Bates.
Who?
John Bates.
Yeah, John Bates.
Yeah, I remember these rear-facing seats. We had a Plymouth wagon with the rear-facing seats. And it's different, but similar. The era. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really nice.
This tailgate is, it's back in the day, '69. It's state of the art because it goes this way and it comes down.
Also down. Yes, yeah. I remember those.
Sir, get your hands off the car.
It's all in this mechanism right here.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that allows it to hinge both ways. Yeah.
The new GMC trucks, they brag about their new tailgate, but it hasn't got nothing over this.
Yeah.
You want to talk about technology, and even this step here. See the step?
Oh, yes, yeah.
So this piece of the bumper that fills it up when the
oh, that's what that is.
when the door shut.
Very cool, and it fills a gap in the. Yeah. That is cool, and it makes a nice step for people to get in the back there.
Yeah. Well, for people like you and I.
Yeah.
What kind of gas mileage does this thing get?
14 with the air, 14 with the air, 14 with it off.
That's not bad. Better than I thought.
Well, cool. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So yeah, thank you to Steve for that footage. We really appreciate it. Reactions to that?
Oh, a beautiful car. We were a Pontiac family when I was growing up, so that warms the cockles of my heart.
Yes, I hear that. And Rob?
Would they allow you nowadays put your kids in the back seat of the car and put the window down like that?
Probably not.
Especially if it burnt a little oil or something like that.
Yeah.
Station wagons are getting rare. So many people took them to demolition derbies, and you don't see a lot of. You might see 1 or 2 station wagons at a car show. That's it.
Yeah.
They're rare.
Yeah.
And that guy, it's nice. That guy's got all the history about that car. He's got the printed sheets, the options, and all that.
For sure.
I like the history about a vehicle.
Yeah, for sure. And my own memory with that, like I was saying in the video, we had a Plymouth wagon similar to that with a rear-facing seat. And we were little kids. We'd sit back there and we'd put our hands up like hand puppets and do puppet shows for the cars behind us, you know. And I don't know what they thought of that, but we were having fun with it.
And the Krager rims did look good on that black car.
Yes, that set that off nice. Yeah, very nice. So before we wrap up, let me remove this. We've got a few comments that have come in. Let's take those and then we'll wind down the program. Oh, here we go. He says he knows the Canterbury tires and we call all Utes pickups, I guess. This is Terry Mountain out in Australia. Now, Ben Thomas is saying that is one super cool wagon, a fantastic show, gentlemen, very informative, and thanks us. Well, thank you for watching, Ben. We really appreciate that. And like I said, Ben also does the Mini Bike podcast with us. We have an awful lot of fun with that. I'm going to find the graphic here, give him a shameless plug for his Mini Bike podcast. And yeah, we have an awful lot of fun with that. Where were we? Also, Terry. Terry Mountain, he says we call them pickups. They call them Utes out there, whether it's a pickup or El Camino type of vehicle. I guess it's a catch-all term for a vehicle like that. Now, also, my nephew, Andrew Sean Newsom, is saying the interior is pretty nice the way it is. Yeah, for sure. A nice interior in there. He says Newsom, Andrew Sean Newsom does Newsom's detailing. He's got a detailing business there in Springfield, Vermont. He says he detailed a Mercedes wagon last year, and it was probably a couple of years old. Cool deal. Oh, and it had rear-facing seats. That's where he was going with that. Yeah. So apparently on some of the Mercedes-Benz newer vehicles, they've got rear-facing seats. And Stacy and Art Fosler say, great show. Thank you to Steve for the education.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes. So in the final minutes we have left, closing comments. Any closing comments, Steve, before we wrap it up?
Well, I just want to thank you, Mike, for giving us the stage through which we can continue to educate our customers out there. It's amazing the amount of people that think Krager has somehow gone the wayside of many other older brands, but we are still rock solid. And as I said before, we're coming up on our 60th year. So I'm looking forward to a great coming 2025. For
sure. And Rob, closing statement?
Thanks for the education, Steve. It's nice to know history about different companies and how they worked. And I'll look you up when I come to SEMA. I'm just coming down for one day this year.
Please do, Rob.
Yeah, and my comment is the same as everyone else. Thank you, Steve, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Been wanting to do this for a very long time. Nice to have you on. Nice to learn about Krager from the Krager source, rather than, like you said, the rumors and things going around. We're getting it right from the source tonight, and we really appreciate that. And one last comment, and then we'll close it out. My wonderful girlfriend says thank you to Steve. Cool deal.
Thank you very much, everybody.
All right. So with that, the last word goes to AMSOIL. And yes. Oh, one last thing. We have two other co-hosts who are here every week with us. For they couldn't make it tonight. Virgil and Michael. Sorry you couldn't make it. I hope you're able to watch this as you're able to, and hope to have you here in 2 weeks' time. We're doing a replay next week, but the week after that, we'll be going live again. Hopefully, with Virgil and Mike back in the saddle where they belong. Yes. Thank you to everyone. And the last word, as always, goes to AMSOIL.
Great show, Mike.
Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about AMSOIL. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your AMSOIL products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what AMSOIL is and why you should consider using AMSOIL products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. AMSOIL is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses AMSOIL for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that AMSOIL is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because AMSOIL doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And AMSOIL likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of AMSOIL is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction and drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, AMSOIL says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the AMSOIL bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the AMSOIL. AMSOIL's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero. Wow. If you ever tried petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So AMSOIL's an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running AMSOIL than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And AMSOIL is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that AMSOIL has available.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the AMSOIL experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And yeah, by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
AMSOIL has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, AMSOIL will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer, you save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. AMSOIL sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value. And this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering AMSOIL. Is that correct?
It is. It is.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an AMSOIL order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the preferred customer program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to a product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order that gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the Signature Series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click checkout now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an AMSOIL account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name, and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to AMSOIL. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for AMSOIL under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your AMSOIL Preferred Customer Program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters "free DVD requests" so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering AMSOIL as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from AMSOIL, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from AMSOIL. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the AMSOIL marketing plan. AMSOIL has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing or hot rods, we have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business that's I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure. So when you sign up under that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing AMSOIL for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with AMSOIL. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate AMSOIL leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes. And just by wearing my AMSOIL hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about AMSOIL. People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product.
Perfect. Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
AMSOIL's a fun business. AMSOIL's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the AMSOIL products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the AMSOIL products or to join the AMSOIL team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.